welcome back to Geek Out to Say It's Friday and we're having fun and we have audio now. And we have Sarah here, Sarah Childs from Child's Play, and we haven't seen you in a while, so thanks for coming again. It's been a long time since we've seen you. Was it back, we had you back on the 200th episode?
The 200th episode.
And was that the one where we were in the store?
We don't even count anymore, so we don't even know what we're at now.
That was like a 2-hour episode or something. Mm-hmm. It was like super cool and long. Yeah, I liked that episode. It was good. Okay, so.
We're super staticky.
Super fixed it.
Is it fixed?
I don't hear static. Everybody else is hearing.
We are struggling today.
Yeah,
That's Macarena.
No, that's the Macarena.
That's before we re-introed.
I fixed it.
Of course, just the time with the Macarena.
Okay.
That's all we get is we're actually listening to ourselves because we're that narcissistic. Was that the one where we were in the store? Ooh, I'm so loud. Cheese and rice. Move that way down over here. All right.
You can adjust your thing, but yeah, we're back, and so you used to have a store.
Yes, I used to have a store in New Braunfels.
Well, even before that,
you were
doing conventions and just selling games and demoing games, like conventions all over the place, right?
Mm-hmm.
But at the 200th episode, you hadn't had the store yet.
Right.
Yeah.
We just skipped that whole part, I guess. This is the last time everybody's seen me.
Yeah, so I think everybody needs like a recap since the last time because it's been a while.
Okay. So let's, at the beginning, we did conventions and we held our own game events in New Braunfels at different businesses. And then we moved into the getting our own store. We had a store in New Braunfels. We had that location about a year. And then we moved into another location that we stayed in for about 6 months. My sources are telling me 6 months.
Okay.
Stephen Bonilla says, I really miss the store.
Oh, Stephen. Well, the good news is I still am doing a couple things.
That's good because you have always been so great at like demoing games and showing people how to play because you love the games. And so I always liked to watch you demo games, even when we were at all the little mall cons and everything. It was nice to see your store, and I totally understand why y'all aren't doing the store anymore. I don't think people realize the amount of work.
Recap that, yeah.
I just don't think people realize when you're trying to do your day job and trying to do a store and trying to keep all that afloat, it's a lot of work.
It was really hard. Like, basically we had the day jobs and we had the store and we didn't have anything else. That was like the whole life right there.
Mm-hmm. Right, exactly.
So,
when did you go have fun?
Well, I had fun at the store. And then I got to go out to the conventions and have fun.
Yeah.
But still, I enjoyed doing it, but it just became like we need time to like have healthy balance in our lives. And so we decided to move into being more of a creative studio. So we're still doing a couple events, and I'm working on a card game right now, and we want to produce games and comics as well. So this is like the beginning. I'm starting with a small party card game.
So I knew about the game because I've play tested it with you already, but I didn't know about the comics. So
well, since the very beginning of our company, when we created Malia Mayhem, the mascot, we have had a plan for her for a comic and for games around her. But when we had the store, it was just like spending all the time with the store and in the store events, everything else. We just never got around to it.
No, and it's not like people think it's so easy to be creative too. They're like, oh, I could design that game. Oh, I could write that comic. I hear people say stuff like that all the time. Sit down and try. Like, seriously, sit down and try, especially...
You might be able to, but it's a lot harder than you think it is. They're like, oh yeah, well I can do that. We'll do it.
Yeah, because even if something fairly good and fairly brilliant comes out of your head, you still have to play test it. It's never perfect. Even the people that have been doing for a long time, it's not perfect when it first comes out of your head. And you are not selling the game to yourself. right? You're selling it to all these other people, so you have to get all these other opinions, and there's all these other personalities and likes and dislikes, and you have to balance all of that. So I know that you were working with your card game, and you've seen some of that going on.
Prototype.
And
And as prototypes goes, that's a really nice prototype.
yeah, it's cute. Yeah, and we all used your bit strip.
Yeah.
Did you? That's cute.
We used some wonderful placeholder art.
Take them out and let's
Yeah.
show everybody.
Sure.
Which is what you do, by the way.
Yeah.
You use the
At this
placeholder
point in the
art.
game.
Yeah. And you just.
So, and even before that, I use like index cards on some of the stuff just to
That's cute. These are cute.
get the gameplay going. But
Yeah, and we're so high tech at my house that I have paint.net. So I'm working with paint.net making all this stuff, which is great because as soon as you like type in the wrong letter and you finish it and you want to go back, it says no. So I basically have to white out the whole thing and then start the paragraph over if I make a mistake.
This is cute.
oops.
Movie buff. This is me right here, buried in the popcorn. All about popcorn. I mean, these are super cute. You know, as the nice thing about it is it gives people an idea of what you're doing and where you're going, and I can see some of these are a little different than we played last time, or we didn't. Get
Oh,
to
I've
some of
added.
these.
Yeah,
Okay.
well,
I
and
was
there's like
some of these look a little different, or like new cards. So you've added
there are
some
new
since we played last
cards.
time.
There are also cards that are completely unique cards. Like literally their type is called unique. I just figured out these numbers. I have 14 completely unique cards. So like there's only one of them in the whole deck.
Oh,
So
nice.
it's very possible that you just haven't seen all of them.
Right.
And then there are 37 different cards now. Like different cards altogether.
Different altogether.
Mhm.
And then how are you working? So if you guys don't know, and you've never had to create your own game, so one of the things you have to consider when you're creating a game is publishing the game and sending it to a publisher and how many cards they can do per sheet and things like that, and does it balance with what you want to print out and with how you want your gameplay to go. So there's a lot,
yes.
there's a lot that goes into this.
And are you planning something like going to a publisher? Or are you planning to publish yourself? What kind of things are you thinking of doing?
We're planning on publishing ourselves because, mostly because of the art. Because I kind of already have an idea for the art. I have an artist in mind. And the art is going to be kind of like a sneak peek kind of thing to some of the stuff you'll see in the comic when we start making the comic.
Mhm.
So we kind of have like all these different ideas figured out, and we're just kind of putting it all together. So this game will serve as kind of like a pre-Easter egg to the comic when the comic does come out.
Oh, nice. That's fun.
Nice.
You're not going to know it at the time, but later on you'll be like, oh, this character, oh, it's in that game. That's right, yeah.
Oh, that's a cute
And you
part
heard
of
it here on Geek Out, I say.
First time it's been revealed.
So, do you know what is the name of your game going to be?
It is called I Win, the card game.
The card game. Because you want to win, right?
Yeah, it's because you want to win. Well, it kind of goes with the synopsis of the game, to tell you the truth. Because the whole idea is you just bought this card game and you're really excited about it. It's called I Win the Card Game, right? So you get together your friends, you decide to throw a party to show it off to them, and you hold the game up and you walk up to them and you go, I win the card game! And all of your friends are instantly enraged with you. They're very upset because you haven't played a game yet, so how could you claim that you're winning? Right? So they form an alliance against you called your Frenemy Alliance, led by your frenemy, of course.
Of course.
And that's how the game ensues.
Nice.
But now you're outnumbered, so who's going to win now?
Oh,
Because it's a one versus
if you're
all.
crafty.
Yeah.
Some crafty
Exactly.
tacticians can win against the group. So,
Mhm.
So
that's nice.
what kind of layout do you have for the cards? Is it one pile that you draw from, or is there just that and a discard pile? How does that work?
Well, there are many different types of cards within the same draw pile. It's one draw pile, one discard pile. The mechanics are fairly simple. It's just play a card, or you can discard a card if you don't want to play one, and then you draw back up to your hand limit at the end of the turn. That's it. But the goals are slightly different because you have one against all, so for every one turn this person gets, everybody else on the team each gets one turn as well.
And as you play that, is that balancing out okay? Are there chances for the one to win versus the all to win? Okay, good.
It is very well balanced now. There is a lot of chance in the game as well, so that comes into account. But it's been played enough that it is pretty equal chances for each side. And I do that a couple of things help me tweak that, because at the beginning we did have problems with that and I had to tweak it. So
like you do.
Mm-hmm.
It's a thing.
So the first thing is the person by themselves always needs 10 points to win. The team can fluctuate because it's 10 points times the number of people on the team. So you have a team of 2, it's 20 points. Team of 3, it's 30 points, so on. That's one of the factors. The other factor is the person who's playing by themselves get extra cards in their hand limit. They don't get to play any more cards, but they get to hold on to more cards so they have more choices.
So the cool thing that I like about this game is that it's a little more interactive than a lot more interactive than other games, because you're actually doing stuff because of the cards.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
and you actually have to like get up out of your seat and actually do something. Mm-hmm. So that's a cool thing, and I haven't seen that a whole bunch of where it's like the main focus of the card game. There's card games that like, oh yeah, you can sing something and do this, but you're actually that's what you're doing like every turn. Mm-hmm. And that's what I really like about it. And you're also part of the Tabletop Designers Guild here in San Antonio as well. Mm-hmm. And we all get together. I try to go when I can, but I think I've made one that I hosted because it was a geekdom. But yeah, it's a lot of fun to be able to get together and kind of see what everybody else is doing and just kind of get a feeling for what's out there and see what everybody else is doing.
And it's great feedback too, because you have a group of people that they're all working on their own thing. They're all kind of familiar with the process, so they can give you really good feedback.
Yeah, they're gamers and designers.
Yeah.
Which is
really
cool.
It's a really good group. So if you're out there and you want to start designing your own game, hit them up. Definitely go to some of their meetups, because you do get the valuable play testing. You get to see some other people's opinions who have been through the process. You get to network with each other and go, oh, who did you go to for printing? Who did you go to for an artist? You know, like that. All of that stuff is really valuable, because when you're out there on this island by yourself, you're like, I don't know how to do all these things.
How do I know if this is good or not? I don't know.
Yeah. So are you going to be taking this and play testing it like at stores and stuff, or? That's
a great question. That brings me up to something I wanted to say.
Okay.
So on the 30th of this month, which is coming up, that's next weekend.
Oh yeah.
We're going to have a play testing party in Boss's Pizza in New Braunfels. It's going to be 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. It's not only myself and my game, but there are also a few other game designers that are coming to play test their games.
Oh, cool.
And then I'm going to do a free raffle at the end of the night. It's just to get the public in, kind of just show off our stuff. We're all play testing, so it's all not finished product, but we're looking for feedback, and it is a lot of fun to try out games. I can say firsthand.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, no, it is a lot of fun.
Is it an open invitation if somebody has a prototype to go show it off there?
Yeah, well, I would like them to contact me.
Contact you, so make sure there's space. But,
yes.
Yeah, if you have a game and you're anywhere close to, like, New Braunfels or even San Antonio or Austin area, you can go head on down there and play. I know you given me an invitation, but I'm always busy. I don't know what I'm going to do every week, so I've been playing it kind of.
He's trying to help me like muscle through these very last 2 classes for my master's, and then when we're done in August, we get to have this life that you keep talking about. I've heard you talk about it. It sounds nice. We'd like to have one. So that's the plan for in the future. Well, I'd definitely like for him to get back out there and show the game.
And then Game Expo, we need to start on Game Expo.
Mm-hmm.
Because
which you're going to be at, right?
He needs to. A word of the wise, because of what Vincent went through, save your game in like 14 different places. So that you're not like at the end of production and getting ready to go and you lose the whole thing.
Oh.
I didn't lose the whole thing.
It's really bad. It was a lot of work.
Yeah.
I still have all the text for the cards. That's the important
Well, that's
thing.
nice for me because that was my job. So thank you. But
I
like,
saved that in many different places, so
Yeah.
that's a good
But
thing.
the formatting, the artwork, you have.
But the cool thing about it is I'm making a better product now. So
Wow.
it actually
I know it just
Sorry about
adds
that.
more time. You know, it adds
Yes.
more time on. So
Oh yes.
I would recommend give it to Joe. Let Joe save it somewhere. You save it somewhere. Bury it in the backyard somewhere or something. It just makes.
Gaming Monsters says, "Congrats on the 500 subs. I wish it was 5,000, but 500 subs. Thank you. I really appreciate it.
So we're consistent at 500. Are we like a
For the
little over
for the last 2 days. No, we're
the last 2
at
days.
500. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm shocked because I was watching it there for a while and it was like
No, wait a minute. Since Wednesday.
500, 498, 499, 500, 499, 500. So that's why I'm like, do we celebrate?
No, we
Well,
don't
there's an
celebrate.
important point here.
Because we've got that one person that dislikes us, they're just going to keep
Unsubbing.
subbing.
Like, every
We're gonna-
week we have somebody like we don't know who it is, but they
Already
dislike our
today,
videos.
they already did it.
Yeah. Like as soon as we come on, they hate us. So I don't know what we did,
But we still get an interaction.
Maybe it was the Macarena.
Thank you.
It might have been the Macarena.
But this is an important message. You could be number 501.
Yes, and then that would push us over, and then I
And
would
stay.
like totally.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, what? I'm so excited.
Well,
You
that's
could
a-
be 1,000.
Shut up.
That's what we need. Then we can start monetizing.
How about realistic goals? Can we just go like 100 at a time? Like
600.
600.
Yeah, let's go to
That's good,
600.
right?
And then
Well, you know, we've got like on our Facebook Child's Play page, I know we have over 1,000. So if we can get some of those people on here, Child's Play fans,
that would be awesome.
hopefully we've got someone watching.
I met y'all quite a long time ago, and I met y'all in San Marcos, right?
2013,
In 2013 at that
small little con that doesn't
the
exist
small little con over there by Embassy Suites. It's the Embassy Suites.
Oh my goodness, what's
Yeah, and it was like San Marcos, or was it in Braunfels?
San Marcos.
Don't look at me. I don't know what you're
This
talking
is-
looking
about.
at the map
Yeah.
over
I'll
there.
tell you.
It was right there.
Sarah and I are like,
It's not far from Bucky's, though.
Yeah.
no. You keep talking. You're
But they had a convention center there, and yeah, that's where I met you. And then you actually, I played my game with you, and then we also played Sentinels of the Multiverse.
Oh, okay. I remember that.
I remember that, and that was a cool thing because that was the first time I had ever played a cooperative game,
Oh,
card
really?
game. That was the first time. Because I always stayed away from,
because
Oh.
again, only child syndrome. He doesn't like to play with other people. He wants to win, and only he can win, and you must die under his boots.
Well, you know, like with Vince, he could like this game. I mean, he could be by himself in this game, and everybody else could be against him.
See,
hmm
and then he'd be like, "I told you I win this
Good
game,
sale.
and I'm gonna do it again."
Sold.
Is this the very first game you've ever designed, or have you kind of tried your
Yes.
hand at some before and decided, nah, that's not going the way I like, or?
No, this is the first one. This is the first one, and I'm pretty happy with it, how it's going.
Well,
You
that's
know, I've been like in and out of the group play testing it. I had done one other public event with you guys
Yeah.
for International Tabletop Day, and
Yeah.
that went really well. So I got to see like the outward perspective. A lot of families came, and it was
That's
really
always
accepted
nice,
well.
is to go somewhere like that and see non-gamers play it,
Mhm.
or not like heavy gamers, I guess
Mm-hmm.
you would call it, because I don't know, people who don't play tabletop games don't know that there's kind of
Mhm.
a lot of different sections of
Yes.
types of gamers,
Yes.
right? You know.
Oh, before you go on, we have a comment. Roger Herrera says, "Tell Sarah I love the cat ears."
Ah, thank you.
And
You can see
Gaming
this
Monster says
character
that
is
too.
based off
Her
of me.
signature cat ears all the time. It's not Sarah without those cat ears, and they are so adorable. Did you make them, Sarah, or you found them?
No, I bought these ones. I bought these at a convention. I also wore my little kitty necklace that's like a waffle. It's like a Nyan Nyan cat, but it's also a waffle and bacon.
Because why not?
Yeah, 'cause why not? And I got that at a convention too. I like to support the artists and stuff.
Yeah.
So.
Well, aside from doing the gaming and stuff, you and Joe's her husband, but he's not allowed to be on camera. He's in the corner, like a baby. Y'all like to go to anime conventions, right?
Yep.
And you do a lot of cosplay.
Mm-hmm. I do cosplay.
So what is it that you like about anime?
The conventions are just anime itself.
Ooh, good
delve
question.
deeper
Let's
into this
do
first.
conventions first. What do you
Conventions
like about the
first. Well, I would say my number one attraction to convention is always the gaming scene. I always seek the gaming scene out. I got into gaming back in high school when some friends introduced me to other games that were not Monopoly and the Game of Life. I was amazed and astounded that these things existed, and
You're like,
also
"What?"
very happy. I went to anime conventions for many years before I actually started watching anime.
Oh, really?
Which is interesting, yeah, because of the gaming and because I had friends that went. And I started, like, dressing in, like, pop culture costumes, so I kind of started doing cosplay before I started watching anime, too. Just, like,
I didn't
everything
know
else
that.
before the anime, yep. But then I got into the anime, too.
Well, good. So then you know that feeling of going to the anime convention and going, oh my god, I really love that costume. I have no idea what it is, but
Yes.
it's super cool and awesome.
That still happens to me.
Oh, okay, good.
Because I have animes I watch, but there's just so much out there, I could just never
You used
catch
to
up.
work with Tiffany too, didn't you?
Yes.
Back in the day.
Yep, starting in 2009, I believe. 2009. I was there. I met her shortly before she started her store.
Mhm.
So I kind of helped her. Like, I was a volunteer at the beginning. And then whenever she started paying people, I got paid.
Nice. It's
So-
always nice to get paid.
But I did conventions with her. And then I did...
And didn't
I
you do
did-
ChimeraCon?
I did ChimeraCon. Yes, I did.
Didn't you dress up as Slave Leia?
I may have. It's hard for me to remember because, like, everything in here is just kind of a blur
Like
in the
all
past.
Joe?
It's just all mixed together.
No.
Slave Leia? Slave Leia?
He might remember.
Slave Leia was not a ChimeraCon, we were just attendees there.
Yeah, you
Really?
Would, you would have been allowed in a slave layer.
Yeah,
Was
back
that
in
the
after
one-
we
I could have
attendees.
sworn y'all did.
I
Wasn't
would've.
that the year that we
Yeah,
helped
you
Vince
were.
and Colleen?
Years later,
When did y'all do, what con did y'all do that for?
that was
Because that was a really good,
That was A-Con about a year.
there's no way I saw y'all at
I've done it
A-Con.
a few different
Brought a,
times too.
Maybe Kylo with us.
One of the times.
Oh.
He was Hans, and then we had a little Kylo that is like, it's like a little Kylo that's this big, and it's like fully grown Kylo, but he's this big, and we're just like holding his hands and walking around with him between us.
Nice.
Yeah.
What's your favorite cosplay to do?
That's very hard. I'm gonna say it's between the Slave Leia, and I also have a Luffy that I do from One Piece.
A Luffy?
A Luffy, yeah.
I don't know. What
Which is a simple one, but it's a very comfortable one. And Wonder Woman is one of my newest ones that I like too. See, I can never pick.
See, the comfortable ones, though, I'm down. I do like the
Yeah.
comfortable ones. Sometimes you get in the cosplay and you're like, strapped in and tied in and everything, and you're like, I can't breathe.
Yeah, most of the time, that's the
can't
case.
Well, like me, I like the Jedi one, but I don't have any pockets. It upsets me when I don't have any pockets in my Jedi costume.
Jedi
So that-
don't need pockets.
Damn.
See,
Well,
that
and-
happens to me all the time. Because I have, especially when I'm Slave Leia, I have very little clothing on, so I
Right.
have no pockets.
There's no
And then
pocket.
I go, Joe, hold on my stuff. And that's what happens.
You're like,
He's like, okay.
okay.
You just have to have someone accompanying
hold it.
you that has.
How long do I
Because
hold
it's not
it?
as fun.
I had a convention bag for over 15 years.
Nice.
The same bag.
Same bag.
Now, he had that bag before he even met me though, so I don't even know.
But it's not as nice when you worked really hard to have this cosplay outfit and
And you
then
got a
you have a backpack or a
backpack,
purse or
yeah.
something and it throws the whole
Yeah.
thing off. You don't want to do that. I
Yeah.
hate
Yeah,
that.
but then now they stopped letting you have that backpack. It's for a while. I don't know if they stopped it. I know they did it at the Comic Cons, right?
If it's see-through.
It's clear.
It's been a
as
while
long
since
as you
gotta
have
be
the
clear.
ones.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Mhm.
It's been a while since I was at a comic book specific convention.
Yeah. Yeah, me neither. I don't do them anymore. The anime ones seem fun just because of the interaction between like the different people, and they stop and they'll like talk to one another in character. There's a lot of picture taking. There's a lot of social things that go on at the anime conventions.
It reminds me, MizumiCon is coming back.
Which is awesome.
I saw that. So that'll be cool. It'll be interesting for their crowd still not being, because they're not going back to Our Lady of the Lake.
Yes.
Mhm.
So it'll be interesting to see.
And that's the one
like,
thing
what
that-
changes are made. Yeah.
That's the one thing that their people want. They want it back there, but
I think because people like what they're comfortable with, what they're
Yeah.
used to.
Yeah,
But I
I
don't
mean,
people-
it was nice there, but it's just getting huge, I think, was part of it,
Yeah.
probably. That it was just getting huge.
Yeah.
But
It was a lot for the college to just have all of those people there and everything. So I think I like cons at a hotel. It's nice. There's always somewhere to kind of sit and chill and hang out, and there's couches and stuff. And as long as the hotel is understanding, although I think
Yeah.
fandom is becoming more and more mainstream as we go along, so it doesn't seem like it's as big of a deal as it used to be.
yes.
Where you're sitting around in costume and people are just kind of like, it's those people in costume. You know, it's not. I think
Yeah,
because of all the
it's-
shows that are on
People
TV
are like
now
more
and stuff.
used to it
Yeah.
now.
Mhm.
It's
Yeah.
getting a little bit more mainstream.
I think so. I was just watching like State Farm. It was a State Farm commercial. And in the commercial, he's like, "Oh, are you going to help me if this happens?" And it's showing all these disasters. And then he's like, "Well, are you going to be with me here too?" And then they're LARPing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, "Oh." You know, they're just bringing all of the different fandoms into
and then they said
mainstream.
no.
No, I know. I thought for a minute they were going to go there, right? Because
Yeah.
I think we're still kind of used to that, right? We're still used to people looking at you kind of like you're weird.
What are you doing there?
Yeah, what are you doing, weirdo? So I thought, oh, here we go. He's going to be like, not here, right? But then he was like, sure, if you invite me. And then they ran like into battle. So it was kind of cute. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, okay. Like, things are becoming a
Like,
little
come
more...
be a geek with us.
Yes,
Yes,
keep
unite.
on. So I like it, and I also like that. That's one of the things I've always liked about you and Joe is that you like a lot of different types of fandom.
Oh,
and you're
yeah,
not just kind of
definitely.
pigeonholed into one thing.
And that's
and
why I
so-
like anime conventions a lot too, because even though they're anime conventions, they're pretty varied in what you can find there. You find a variety of panels. Like, I like the really interactive panels. I like the artsy ones, the game show ones, the stuff that has prizes.
Right. Obviously. Well, and that's what I like about the gaming conventions too. Is Vince is acting. But really, don't you think so, Vince? Because you can
Yeah.
go play a miniatures game, or you could play a board game, or you could play a card game, or you could play a group game like Werewolf.
Or you can make a game.
Yeah, you can go to a panel where you make a game and then you win prizes at the end if you do really well. So there's that kind of stuff too. So I like these interactive conventions, right, where you get to go do things. So are you planning on trying to do maybe like a convention circuit? Maybe not this summer, but maybe next summer when you
I
get a more...
definitely do want to do conventions. I mean, I did them obviously when I was retailing. I did them before, and I ran gaming areas at a couple conventions too. But now that I've got this going on, when I get it like closer to Kickstarter, I'm definitely gonna want to start going out and doing that kind of thing more. But we should talk about for Game Expo. I could do a panel for you guys, so we should talk about that.
Okay, we will. Yeah, it'll be good. I'm excited
It'll be
for
fun.
Game
About
Expo. I took a break from it because I just had too much going on, but I'm trying to help again this year, so I'm excited
I'm
to see
so glad
where-
that you're back.
You're welcome.
Sure, it's a lot for one person.
Well, it
I
is-
know I had help. I did have help, but
But you know how it is. You know how you have Joe, right? And he's your guy, and he remembers things, and he carries your stuff, right?
Yes.
If you have that person in your life who's your person, and they're your friend, and they're your companion, and they know you, and they know kind of how you like things done.
And what you're gonna forget.
Exactly. Exactly.
What your strengths are.
Yeah. So I think that that's important. So when that person has to go away for a while, it's hard, right? It doesn't make things as easy.
Yeah.
So.
but
is-
this year it's going to be a lot of fun because we have a lot more space.
That is exciting.
Yeah, it's exciting. I can't wait for y'all to see it because it's going to be good.
I'm excited to be.
I'm excited because then you can
part.
teach me more games.
Yes. I mean, I'm definitely gonna have a part. I mean, hopefully I can show this off
Yeah.
in some capacity.
Yeah.
And then maybe do a panel or something. We'll have to work it out. See what you guys want to do with me.
Yes.
We want to do all the things.
All the things. All the things.
We want so much gaming. I just want people to see, like the people that said that they miss your store, they miss it because it's that community, right?
Yeah,
It's
they miss the
that-
community.
It's that group. It's having those friends to like hang out with and play these games, and you have your little inside jokes about the game and stuff like that. I just want people to see like how
Yeah.
great.
But you also have a Facebook group called the Child's Play Refugees. Can you tell us
Oh,
about
yeah.
that?
Oh, Child's
Tell us
Play
about
Refugees.
that.
Yeah, we have the Child's Play Refugees. They're a group that stems off of a lot of our clientele at the shop that were regulars and became friends and other friends, and then we're kind of like using it as a hobby group and extending it through friends of friends kind of thing. Mainly because some of those things that we invite people to are going to happen at our house, like regular game nights.
Right.
And then sometimes when we get together to do a geeky thing, we'll put it on there and be like, hey, like we're going to see Beauty and the Beast at the Brontex this Saturday.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Saturday evening. So I put it up on there. I was like, hey,
You're
we're
gonna
going to
go
be there.
See the play?
Yeah,
Are you really?
yeah,
So did you know Nathan Dowell?
yeah.
Okay.
That's
his
how I
son-
found out.
Okay, I was his son Nick is Gaston.
Yeah.
So a guy who's in the tabletop gaming kind of cadre
World.
of gamers. Yeah, his son is really into acting. We had him.
He's really into gaming. He helps it.
He's really
Yeah.
into gaming too. He's a really sweet kid. So I'm glad you brought that
Yeah.
up. I would like to go Saturday. I was actually going to ask Vincent because I want to see him as
Yay!
Gaston like so
We
bad.
can meet
So,
up.
Yeah.
Well, in my group, I put like, hey, maybe we can all get dessert after or something. If whoever else ends up going, just let me know. We can
That's
all
cool.
get, because we might not sit in the same spot.
The
but,
other thing you should do is about the San Antonio Nerd Night also, right? So they do charity events,
Oh, yeah,
right,
San
where she
Antonio
has
Nerd Night.
gaming and then she's trying to bring things in. So that might be a different group too that you haven't play tested with. I like to go out there with them.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And then that's nice too because you're bringing in people that are going to help her help the charity too. So Vincent and I always like to do that when we can too because it's like if you're bringing in new people, they're going to bring diapers for the diaper bank or something for the, burn victims or something for the food bank or whatever she's doing. So, yeah.
And we did go to one of her nights before in the Child's Play capacity.
Oh, cool.
We wanted to host them too, but it was just a matter of like it was always like they were already full at that time, and we could
Right.
never get a time that they weren't full, and we like that it interacted right with our scheduling.
Yeah.
It happens.
Yeah, it definitely happens. I don't think people know how much gaming stuff is really going on, like in San Antonio and in the surrounding areas. So,
But talking about gaming, your game, when do you think that's going to...
Well, that's really hard right now.
When are you going to
because-
produce
really
it? Yeah.
hard.
Mostly because of the art thing, because I don't know how long it's going to take to get the art done. If-
Aw, yeah. It takes artists a while.
It depends on the artist, though. There's artists that I know that can get it done in like no time at all. They'll turn it around like the next day. But it really just depends. I think if you're going with somebody, don't go with a friend.
Yeah.
Just don't go with a friend at all. Because a lot of times they'll take their time, and then you. And I think a lot of it has to do with the friends discount thing,
Yeah.
and you don't really want to do that to the artist here because then they're not vested in this, so the artwork isn't going to be as good. So definitely go after somebody that's really in it for. I mean, if you need some help with that, we'll talk after, and then I'll let you know the different people
Well, I
that I
think
know.
you already want to use the artist that you plan on using for the comic book, right? So you
Yeah,
have the same
we kind of
artist in
already
mind.
have somebody in mind who's actually did this portrayal of Malia for me right here.
Nice.
Nice.
Cute.
So, and he's done a couple different Malias for us. So, as long as he can take it on at the time,
Right.
you know,
right.
then
But it's a lot. When you
We've-
think about it for a game, it's a lot of art.
yes, it's a
right?
lot of
Yeah.
art.
It's a
But
lot.
we've had, we already have like a relationship with him and had experience in the past, and it's gone well. So
That's good.
I'm hoping
Yeah.
it'll work out for the game.
Yeah.
That's always
And if
good.
it doesn't, because like I said, that's a lot of cards to do artwork for. There's a lot of people that can do it in that same style. So I mean, it's just
Yeah, I know. And
it's up to you and what you want to do. consistency is a good thing too, and especially if you're going to do the comic book and stuff like that. So you just have to weigh the pros and cons of things and see how that's going to work out. But
Lots of things to think about.
Oh yeah, always.
Yeah.
Always.
And then you can let Vince know or let the group know, like, once you're ready to start shopping to see where you want to print it, like, to do any kind of mass production.
Yeah.
What's that like? And I don't think any of y'all know as far as Kickstarter, too. And then you have to think of how long is it going to take them. And usually you have to send it overseas. And then you've got to get the turnaround to come back and then get it out to the people who paid you. So
and hopefully they don't mess it up and then send you a whole shipment of games
that are in your garage still.
Then you're in your garage
because
still.
Somebody thinks they're going to do something with them.
Oh yeah,
Not
I
all of
remember I
them.
got a special copy. It was like a special marketed copy, still in the wrapping.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's
in
the
case
one.
it's
It's
worth
called,
a lot of money someday.
It's called Hacked App.
Yeah. The hacked
'Cause
edition.
It is hacked for sure. It's hacked for days.
Like the word battling became Antolene.
Really, and we don't know how that happened.
No.
I'm sure it
They
went into them
retyped
as
my
well.
cards.
They wanted him to send a different file format that they needed, but they didn't want to ask him because they had asked him some other stuff, and then they had been wrong, and then they wanted some other stuff. So then they were like, "Oh, well, we've made all these mistakes, so we'll just fix this other thing by ourselves."
Well, so yeah, if you're
And we'll
producing a
mess
game,
up the
I'm sure that
color.
the person designing the game would rather you just ask, even if it's a lot of questions.
Yeah.
Because it's more important that the game comes out how they want it.
Yes, you would think.
Maybe they learned.
So tell me again, when are you doing Boss's Pizza?
Boss's Pizza on the 30th is
That's next
Saturday.
Saturday.
Next Saturday, 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. We'll be in the back party room. They have a really nice party room back there.
And people can eat also?
Yes.
They can order? Or...
Actually, that is
They
the
can eat
whole
pizza.
premise there because I always put a
We've been there
food
before,
in
haven't
for
we?
them.
Yes.
Yeah.
We did a thing there.
We used to
I
play
used to
Yeah.
hold
out there sometimes, yeah, because she used to hold it
game
in.
nights there
So
before I had a
yeah,
store.
definitely
at
check
Game
that
Nights.
out and go to Game Expo, and you're going to see her there too as well. But Sarah, thanks for coming by again. I really appreciate it.
It was fun.
It's a lot of fun. We always have fun when you're on. It's
Yeah.
really cool. But thanks for checking us out. I'm Vince.
I'm Colleen, and that's Stuart, and that's Sarah.
I'm Sarah.
Geek out, SA.